listening to the Career Musician Podcast with creator and host, Nomad. With 20 plus years of experience in the music industry, Nomad has done just about everything to earn a living as a career musician. From being music director to celebrity artists, playing iconic arenas and stadiums, composing for film and TV, and even playing your average local club gigs, he's done it all. Nomad's mission is to empower musicians across the globe with strategies for a sustainable career while blasting stereotypes, and to bring you tried and true wisdom from his colleagues in this crazy business we call music.
Welcome to another episode of the Career Musician Podcast with yours truly, Nomad. And today I have Raul Ferrando, all the way from Argentina. Raul has been here in the LA music scene for over 25 years, creating a diverse palette of beautiful orchestrations, arrangements, and composing and producing. With just a few of his credits like Juan Gabriel, Smokey Robinson, Shalea, Dawkins and Dawkins, Shantae Moore. Additionally, Raul has had a smash hit go viral with the Belly Dance Superstars. I'll let him tell you all about it in this episode of the Career Musician Podcast.
Writing string parts, a lot of people can do it. It's just the difference is how much time you put, especially when you're talking about programming, how much time you put to create a performance. So dynamics, attack, and I guess it helped me be in enough sessions with live string players where you can see what they do. Like when they dig into a phrase that is singing, they use more vibrato and they dig in. And when they're holding a chord about at the end to cut off, the vibrato is slowly going away.
Right.
And then they cut, and then they take the bow off. And so that's, those little things, believe it or not, make it,
Well, they make it human.
Bring realm to it. Yeah.
Right. So you're sitting there watching these nuances as the string players are performing. You're absorbing all these little nuances.
Yeah, I'm just seeing what they do when they play.
Right.
And you can see it if you watch any performance or strings, you can see when they're playing lines that are soaring or singing lines. You can see that they're like even balancing a little bit and really going on the high vibrato range,
Right.
And on the molto vibrato, if you want to use the term.
Molto.
The Italian,
Describe that for us.
Molto, it means a lot of vibrato.
A lot.
Much vibrato.
Much.
And there's, and also you have the non-vibrato, which is, it makes things a little more, I would say, haunting and suspense and, a little bit of more of a thoughtful side of it. It's almost like a pad, but, with real strings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Raul Ferrando jumping right in to his craft.
Well, it's not my fault. You asked
I know.
You asked me the question.
no, I think it's great. I was telling Johnny, our engineer, Johnny, make sure we're recording, man. Hurry up. This is good stuff. When somebody like Raul speaks about string arranging, you want to listen. So, okay, welcome to the Career Musician Podcast,
Thank
Raul.
you. It's my pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Man.
So such a great place you have here.
Oh, thank you. We met years ago through Tony Shepard.
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
And it was incidentally because of your craft as an amazing guitar player and my side of it, which the strings arranging.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And I think we did quite a bit of work for Shalea in the beginning.
We did work for Shalea, and then we did a little bit of work for another girl called Natalie Cadet.
Okay.
Which was, I don't remember the title of the song right now, but he had that, Spanish flavor in it.
I do remember that name.
Yeah.
Boy, your memory is good. Yeah.
So far.
But Natalie Cadet sounds familiar too.
Yeah.
And of course, Tony Shepard is a dear friend of ours, an amazing engineer, producer.
Amazing indeed, yeah. Great ears, great knowledge of the gear, and it's so easy to work with.
That's right.
Yeah.
Boy, we made a good team, the three of us.
Yeah.
We got to do more.
Well,
yeah.
We're still in town, all of us. So
yes.
we should.
Right.
Although that doesn't matter much these days, right?
I know, right. You just
but still, that old saying, out of sight, out of mind.
That's true.
Still holds, so.
You're right.
It's good to be in town.
It is.
Yeah.
I just saw Tony, maybe 3 months ago, just around the holidays or before, at an event for Jam Card. Have you heard of Jam Card?
No.
It's a good thing in town. They create a lot of jams for musicians
I see. Okay.
to hang out. Anyway, so we went to one down in Hollywood, and I ran into him, and man, it's like we never left.
Yeah.
We just picked up where we left off.
I know exactly what you mean.
So he's going to be a guest on the podcast as well. So we have to all stay in touch and get on something. I don't know what we can figure out, but
I'll be, just let me know.
Absolutely.
I'm here, and I'm also easy to work, although somebody else should say that, but
no, you are. You're so easygoing, so mellow, and I really appreciate that about you.
Thanks.
And what you were just talking, that little intro, we're going to get more into that. I want to hear more about the nuances of what you do. But that's something that really drew me to your sound and what you and Tony do, and the three of us together. We all listen. We all cultivate the sound, and we listen to each other, and we listen to what the instruments are doing. And that's so important, right?
It is.
Talk about that. Talk about, I'm going to go back to your history and stuff.
Yeah. No, but I mean, talking about listening is, then again, I can tell you, there are people that have a lot of skills and can play a lot of stuff, but if you are not listening to, especially the vocal, that old saying, the vocal is king.
It sure is.
So if you don't work towards enhancing or just dressing around the vocal instead of trying to compete with it,
right?
That is what makes a good arrangement. I think just leaving room for the vocal to transpire and to really communicate. Just being supportive, When I get a song to arrange, really, I could sit at the keyboard and find out, like anybody else, probably multiple options.
Right.
But what makes it for me is I listen to the lyrics.
Mm. You just said that about a song that I asked you about to arrange.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that simplifies it for me, because it's like, so this is what she's talking or what he's talking about. And then we'll provide the background or the scenery, if you can call it, for that.
For the sentiment. Yeah.
For the sentiment, for the story,
Wow.
And also stay out of the range of the vocal. Don't compete with notes that they're singing, be supportive.
That's right.
Respect the chords, but don't get on the way,
Yeah, if they're singing a fifth and you're playing a sharp 11, that's going to sound pretty ugly, right?
a little tension there. There's going to be a little bit of tension, but right. It's all about feeling, Emotion. Emotion at the end is the bottom line,
Right.
You got to bring support where the story is and just make it stronger. Just help.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So tell us, how does one get bit by the arranging bug? Did you start on an instrument? Did you have a primary instrument? Tell us a little bit about your history coming up and how you got to be such the arranger that you are.
Unfortunately for me, I didn't have a chance because of limitations on my family and the place that I was living. It was kind of hard to find a teacher and even harder to keep getting paid. So I only did, I think I did 2 years of piano when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
And then I had to cut because I think the financial situation was not happening in the family.
Sure.
But the bug, like you said, bit me there. And every chance I had a piano, I would just get in it and one of the complaints of my teacher at the time that I was studying was that, I didn't, because, I didn't have a piano, so she provided for me an hour to go practice before the class.
Oh, nice.
But she would complain to my parents that I didn't practice the lesson. I just started playing stuff that
you felt.
that was not taught to me, because that, my ears were taking me here and there, so.
Sure.
So, and then, by age 15, I was I would attend church, and then by age 15, I started singing in a male quartet.
Nice.
Yeah, first tenor, second tenor, baritone, bass. I started singing second tenor. But these were all guys, got in the mid-20s, late 20s. I was 15.
Okay.
And my voice was a small voice. So they were just, I was complaining, hey, dude, you're singing too loud, and they would just slap me in the back of the head and go like, you just sing, man. Don't complain, sing. So I was like, okay.
And I'm sorry, what were you? You said tenor, second tenor?
Second tenor.
Second tenor, right.
Yeah, and then I started arranging for the quartet.
Wow.
At 15. And they were just like giving me a hard time, like I would bring my little hand manuscripts, with the arrangement. And they go like, wow, okay, well, let's just do it once. See, just let's give him the benefit just for the heck of it.
Sure.
And then from then, I never stopped.
Were they impressed once they heard that?
I don't remember exactly, but they were just trying to play it down, not to give me any like, wow, this is great. No, it's just like, okay, next thing, let's do,
Got it.
So it's like
sure.
not much attention.
Yeah.
But I just had it. I didn't want to stop, and then then it moved from arranging for that. I started arranging for mixed groups, small vocal groups.
Okay.
And then I started arranging for small vocal groups with a band.
Nice.
Piano, percussion, bass.
Sure.
And then I started taking some courses with a local musician there that was in Buenos Aires, which is my hometown in Argentina. And then, how to write for a rhythm section and, and all that. Little by little, started collecting information here. And slowly, by surely,
came about. You're a full-blown arranger.
Something very important that it makes a lot of sense to me today is when I came here to the States and I didn't have any connections in the music field. Although in Argentina I already produced records, and conducted other people's recordings, I came here and somebody found me in church again. It says, hey, you were involved in music in Argentina. I said, yeah. So I have a song that I wrote and I wanted to see if we can. I said, like, yeah, sure. So I had no connections whatsoever.
Right,
so I picked up the Recycler at that time. The Recycler, 1984,
That's the way to do it. People post jobs in there, yeah.
No, and studios, So I go like
right.
studio, MIDI,
Smart.
this, that. So we went there.
Very smart.
I played in the same session. I played the keys, programmed the drums, put a bass, put a pad, sang because at that time I could still hold a melody. And I stopped singing a long time ago, but sang it. And my friend, the guy who became my friend at the studio, mixed it.
Bam.
Boom, bam. Then like 2 weeks later, I covered another 2 songs. The same guy.
And where was this? This was here in Los Angeles?
Here in Los Angeles.
Okay. Amazing. So just like that, you sparked your career.
Yeah, it started over again. And then, from there, really, I started taking off. So this guy, when he heard what I was doing, programming strings or some small arrangements, he would tell me, that's pretty good. The key is that you do it every day.
That's right.
And this is the key here, and it didn't hit me then, it hit me years later, and get 1% better at it every day.
1%. Oh, I like that.
1% doesn't sound like much, right?
It doesn't.
And it's easy. You do it every day. By the end of the year, you're more than 300% better.
Wow.
Than a year ago.
I never thought of it like that.
But that's what it is, man.
That's brilliant because consistency is key.
Is the key.
You have to have consistency, right?
There's no other way around it.
Wow.
That's the way I firmly believe in that.
That's brilliant.
Yeah,
1% every day.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I heard it, go like, yeah. But then, like
when you're younger,
15, 20 years later, like, that guy was right. Because I've been doing it since then, and I've seen, There's been a time that I used to listen to stuff that I did, and I just cringe on the chair, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that.
I can relate to that.
But lately, you know, thank God, things get to a point where you hear things that you done like 5, 6 years ago, and you go like, that still holds.
That still holds up.
Yeah, I could change this and that, but it's still okay.
it's
I can listen to it, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so Buenos Aires, Argentina.
Yeah.
South America. You were born and raised there.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that. What was the culture and the music landscape like?
Well, I grew up in a fairly large family. I have 5 brothers and sisters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're 6.
I'm with me are 6. Yeah, 6, but I'm the 5th of the 6.
I see.
And my parents, were working class.
Sure.
We didn't have a great passing, but it wasn't bad either.
Good. Yeah.
But my father and my mother, they were both not heavily, but somebody got them into it, and they stay on it, classical music.
Oh, wow.
So in my house, you will hear a lot of classical music, and then you learn, about this composer and that composer, because they will get into it and find the stories and this and that, and how this piece happened and what happened, and things that you learn about different composers, like Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, famous story that he was in the premiere. He was completely deaf by that time.
Oh, wow.
And he was looking at the score and looking at the orchestra, trying to follow, and he got lost at some point.
Yeah.
And then he was still fiddling with the score. He looks up, and then the conductor is looking at him and tells him to stand up and turn around, because people were going crazy, applauding at the end of the symphony. So it's stories like that you learn. It's a fascinating world. These people have no sequencers, no DAWs, no
Pro Tools.
And they created music that it lasted for centuries.
They didn't even have an equal tempered piano.
No,
yet.
It was horrible.
It was. I mean, talking about tuning and intonation, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was. These people were quite something. Of course, there were no TPEs.
Right.
Nothing else. So you good at an instrument. That's all you do.
You delve into that 100%. Yeah,
and that's where you put your time.
Yeah. Wow. So a nice classical foundation, thanks to your family, your mom and dad. Great.
And then singing in the church.
And singing, like you mentioned, yeah.
And then they got me into the piano playing when I was 8, and then from there it just started.
Very cool.
I basically listened to a lot of stuff, and then, like everybody else, you work
right
until you hear what you want to hear.
There you go.
Yeah, it's like this friend of mine I told you, it's like, so how do you work a mix? And you go like, well, you just move knobs until you get what you want. It's a little generic definition, but
that's true.
There's a lot more involved to it. But I mean, that's basically. I mean, everybody has a sound on their head.
That's right.
And you want to hear it coming back on the speakers, and that's where the key is.
Brilliant. So fast forward, you go to the recycler, you find the studio. Now you're programming, arranging, doing the drums, the bass, and all everything for these guys. And then your career blossomed from that point.
Yeah, it started slowly going up,
Tell us about some of the artists, to brag a little bit. Tell us about some of your credits.
Not much to brag about, but
yeah, there is.
I work with Shalea, which has lately become her star is shining stronger and stronger.
She sure is. Yes,
she's singing with
Stevie and
David Foster. Well, she was singing with Stevie before, but now David Foster is taking her to the Hitman tours. And this past NAMM, she was on stage with Air, Wind and Fire in one of the shows at NAMM.
That's right.
And she's being managed by Quincy Jones. So it's
that's pretty heavy.
And she still comes to me for when she needs orchestral arrangements, and I'm lucky enough to come up with the goods the way she wants to hear them, because it's all about that. I mean, if I do something that I like, but if she doesn't like it, then it's not good.
Right. But you again, you have a great demeanor. And if an artist comes to you and wants to change something, you're pliable. You're easy to work with. So,
I mean, I'm working for them.
Right.
I'm working for them.
I love that.
I can have a concept or an idea that sometimes you get attached to, and then somebody comes and says, I don't like that. And you have to be, as a professional,
right.
You have to be mature enough to say, so what do you want me to do? What, you have any, maybe a sample of, is there any song that is doing what you can show me? Because sometimes, people try to explain things in their own word, and you don't know what it means exactly until, that's why some people that are already experienced in this, when they bring an arrangement, they show you 2 or 3 different songs. And they say, I like what the strings do in the verse here.
Right.
And I like what the strings do in the chorus in this other song. And
references.
So that way you know exactly the type of sound they're going for.
That's right.
As opposed to, it doesn't sound warm enough. Warm can mean so many different things to so many different people. Or it doesn't, I want it to sound fuller.
Right.
What
does that mean exactly? Yes.
Fuller.
Yes,
you can create fullness with so many different ways. So it's when people bring examples that are audio, it gives you a more direct reference, a more definite reference.
Right. And even if they're not musically educated like you are to talk about the actual terminology, that's okay. Yeah,
because people that might have not the knowledge and the terminology, but they can point to what they like.
That's right.
You show people a bad record, even in the street, a good record and a bad record, and they will point you to the record that sounds better for sure.
There you go.
And they're not musicians. They didn't go to school or anything that had related to music. They're regular people.
That's right.
Yeah. So I mean, the singer is always, when you take it personal, that's the problem. You cannot take it personal.
Don't take it personal.
No, I mean, if they say I don't like this part, it's because they don't like the part. It's not that they don't like you.
That's right. Otherwise, you wouldn't be there working with them anyway.
Exactly.
It's so funny because I was just going to ask you about some of your principles and methods, and you just answered right there. Yeah. That's a great principle. Don't take it personal.
Exactly.
It's not about you.
I mean, at the beginning, I was young. I used to.
Right. I think we all did.
But then, even when I started working with amazing session players like we have in LA, and you tell them, you know what, I hear people telling, somebody, I don't like that sound. And the guy goes like, okay, what kind of sound would you have in mind?
Let's change it. Yeah, that's right.
It was a keyboard guy, and he had this rig. And it's
sure.
like, yeah, sure. So he dials it up. He says, how is that? I go like, yeah, that's kind of cool, yeah.
But that's why they have the rig, so they can get all these different tones.
Yeah, but they're open about, okay, I don't have, what do you want?
Right.
It's like going to a restaurant. I don't like this. You have this. Yeah, I do have that. Here it is. And same with the strings. Some people go like, I don't like the strings to go that high. Okay. So you want them to go down? So you want it more like here or there?
That's right.
And you have to accommodate what they want, because they are the ones that are going to be recording the song, and eventually they're going to probably be singing it like 100 times over the next year. And they have to live with it, So
there you go.
And you have to respect that.
That's right. Wow. So talk about some of your studio. Moving on to what I like to call studio etiquette. Talk about some of your studio experience. You just mentioned some of the A-list session players, that you've had to work with, had the opportunity. Studio etiquette is interesting, and you were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Don't take it personal, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, be flexible, right? Be versatile.
Yeah. One thing I learned early in life, and I was not in charge of the session, is that the atmosphere of a session is very fragile. Mm-hmm. And you can mess it up really easy.
Thank you.
And once you mess it up, you better just close the session and come back the next day.
You better hide under a rock. That's right.
No, because,
you're right.
A musician, to perform, has to be in the right mind frame. He has to be comfortable. And if you trash a person, or if you talk down to a person that is supposedly to play a part,
Right.
he's not going to be happy playing it.
Right.
And that's going to transpire on his performance.
That's right.
And there's also, and I might get in trouble saying this, there are people that are amazing players, but have the wrong attitude.
Right.
And, you know, I prefer to call number 2 guy with the right attitude.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I don't think you're getting in trouble for that. You didn't
'Cause-
mention it.
'cause
Look, it's truth.
All the sessions that I produce, the sessions are like, you know, smooth as butter, and because everybody treats everybody right.
With respect, yes.
Respect, and everybody's ready.
That's right.
One thing is important is, aside all the things that you mentioned, is also be ready. You know, if you be on time, get your charts done on time.
That's right.
And proper and proofed. You know, because you know these are professionals that are accustomed to read. If you have everything ready, they'll do an amazing job for you.
Yeah.
And it'll be quick and smooth and flawless, and it will be amazing.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Very true.
Yeah, you know, and I gotta thank that to the fact that I not always work with the greatest budgets.
Right.
So in order to make sure you don't go out of, you know,
Yeah, sure.
with money out of your pocket to compensate, you want to make sure that all your charts are good, that you have all your bases covered. You know, your charts, your mock-ups, your files that you're going to take to the session.
Well, talk about that process. So let's say you're in your DAW, you get the final score the way you want it. What is your next step? Do you use the Logic or Pro Tools? What do you call notating software? Do you use Sibelius? How do you do it? Do you hire a copyist?
I mean, I know Logic. I use Logic. I'm a long-time Logic
okay.
user since the mid-'90s, since 3.5, I believe.
Oh, very cool.
And when it used to cost $800, plus the peripherals, they didn't come included, like the EXS-24 and the pianos and all that. So it was kind of tough. Today you can buy.
It's $200 all in. Yeah,
$199 for everything, including all the loops and stuff, which is great.
That's cool. It's great.
And their notation side is a whole world.
It's pretty extensive, right?
It's pretty extensive. You can get amazing. You can get orchestral film scoring stuff really deep. But I mean, it's like learning a whole different program.
Yes, that's right.
So before getting into Logic, I also was using Finale. Okay. And you know, once you learn a software, you know, I just didn't move from it. Sure. So I use Finale when I have to cut the parts or the charts. I use Finale. But nowadays, I'm just diverting that to someone who can do it.
Okay, so you are outsourcing it.
Yeah,
it's a lot easier, right? And there's people that just focus on that.
Exactly. Yeah. Plus, you know, I like to get to my session fresh and rested.
There you go. That's right.
Because before I used to do that and get there, and it was like probably 2 hours of sleep. And it's so much, and you perform better as a producer or conducting a session because, you know, you're fresh, you have fresh ears, fresh everything.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. So that person that you outsource it to is transcriber, copyist? Copyist, right. The difference between a transcriber and a copyist is just taking exactly what you wrote and putting it into paper form, musical notation.
Yep. And right? The good thing about it is when I send the MIDI files, I also send them the mock-up.
The mock-up, so they have everything there.
Because that way they can write the dynamics, which is the most important thing. I mean,
so you send them the audio mock-up.
Yeah.
Are they then transcribing the dynamics by ear?
No. By ear, by ear.
So they're listening to your audio,
and
they're saying, "Oh, okay, right here he wants forte, here he wants double pianissimo, you know, whatever."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's the way they follow it, you know.
Okay. So that really does make it a lot easier.
Oh, it definitely comes back exactly the way. It might be beautiful. There might be a couple of places you can say, you know what do you have on your chart? So you have a mezzo piano, let's do it a pianissimo.
Okay.
Let's make the attack a lot smoother. So, you know.
Do you go back maybe via email with a couple little notes if you have to? Or?
Yeah, but it doesn't, seldom.
It's rare.
Very seldomly happens because
That's
today,
awesome.
today's Finale and all Sibelius and all the other, they
Right.
have, you have the notation, but
Right.
you also have the sounds. So
That's
it's
right,
more
yeah.
error proof. It's not easy to get mistakes through it.
Incredible.
Before it was just your side, and then
Right.
But once they implemented the sounds that play the notes that you're doing, then you can hear, oh, this is wrong.
Right. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So you send it to the copyist. The copyist then delivers digital files.
Yeah,
And
PDF.
if you request hard copies,
Yeah, but PDFs is usually
PDFs usually, right,
The
yeah.
best, yeah.
you print them out. You go to the session. You hand them out day of, right on the spot.
Yeah, normally
Because we're dealing with professionals, like you said. Everybody's well
the
trained.
players that I like to
They
do
sight
it,
read it.
Yeah.
They don't need it. You don't have to send them a copy ahead of
It's
time.
usually with the rhythm that I use, which I don't want to make any names. It's usually 2 takes.
I love it.
It's just 2
2
takes.
takes. That's amazing.
When you do 3 takes, it's because there's a passage that is kind of intricate, and
Okay.
they are deciding how they're gonna work it together.
Got you.
But other than that, it's just like
Bam.
they listen to the mock-up.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is I bring the mock-up that they're gonna play to. It's in a Pro Tools session. I call them to the control room, give them their charts. This is a song. We listen. They're looking at the chart. They make their notes.
They're following along, yeah.
And then they go to the room, make one pass, and they go like, okay, I think we should take another one. And,
Take
then,
another
and then once they take the
Then
other
they
one,
come
it's
and
like,
listen, yeah.
done.
That's it. They're done.
Yeah.
Well, oftentimes you can get in and out within an hour.
Yeah.
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 I love that. It's so amazing with orchestra players here in LA. It's so cool to watch because they're used to it.
To me, studio players, I keep saying that. I don't know if I'm wrong, but that the way I feel is that they're a special breed.
Yes.
They're a
Yeah.
different race or something because. There are people that are really good players live, but if you
Yes.
put a chart in front of them and you're a microphone and you're recording, they're not the same performer, or they don't have the same. But these people that we use every time we have a chance are just extremely well trained. They have so much experience. Hello, my name is Raul Ferrando. I am a composer, orchestrator, arranger, and I am a career musician.
The goal of the Career Musician Podcast is to provide valuable insight aimed at supporting working musicians. Please show your support by listening, downloading, subscribing, sharing, liking, and leaving a review.
Subscribe to The Career Musician on Apple Podcasts. Follow The Career Musician on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date on the latest news and get tips from the world's leading musicians. Sign up for the Career Musician newsletter at thecareermusician.com.
And I remember when I barely started producing, I was recording for a friend, and this guy was like, yeah, I have a friend who plays the guitar, and I don't know what. I said, okay, so we brought him, and to start with, the guitar wouldn't tune.
Oh, no.
It wouldn't hold the tuning, but that's okay. We tried, and then we did I think I did short of, 12 takes or something like that.
Aye.
And then there was no DAWs at that time, so I was trying to piece the takes together. And I had the guy who owned the studio who started letting me use the studio was like, you need to call a pro. I said, no, we'll be okay. I'm going to work it out. Every time he showed up, I'm still fighting with the 12 takes. It was like, you should call a pro. And I finally gave up.
Yeah.
So the guy came. It took him 15 minutes.
That's right.
To do
That's right.
to do 2 takes, and
That's
the 2
right.
takes were 20 times better than anything that I had.
Now, see, I would be mad at you if you didn't call me, only because you didn't know me yet.
I didn't know you. I'm talking about
kidding.
1986, 1987.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
It was like, and then hit me.
A pro is a pro, man.
Then it hit me. I go like, okay. You tell people, I go like, yeah, but these guys are expensive. Yeah, they're expensive. But then
worth it.
their instruments are in the best shape.
Mm-hmm.
Their chops are at the top of their game.
Yeah, that's right.
And they played in so many records that when they see your song, they're gonna know exactly what to do with it.
How to treat it and how
to treat it,
perform.
how to create a flow.
Yeah.
And that will save you time in editing, in so many different mixing.
That's right.
Because
you don't have to do anything to it. You don't have to mess with EQ and compression and effects.
Difference in levels and this
That's
and
right.
this because they're so consistent,
And they play with dynamics when appropriate.
And they're there's no way around it. Yeah.
I love it. I've done quite a bit of session work over the years, and like I said, you and I have worked on many things together.
Yeah.
Not as much as I used to. I think for everybody, the session work has gotten a little bit light, but I really do enjoy it. I miss being in the studio, several days a week for other clients, other artists, because, like you said, there is it's a special breed, and I like to think of you and I in that same breed.
Yeah.
We are a part of that.
Yeah.
But it's a language that we all speak. We all know it really well. And that's why I ask about studio etiquette, because I do believe you said it best. The studio is a fragile environment.
Yeah.
It is. And number one, you're there for the artist. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the artist might not even be there. It's just the producer.
Yeah.
But if the artist is there, it's even more fragile.
Yeah.
Now you really have to be careful, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's the psychology of it, but also the actual skill level is so high. So I do love that.
Yeah. It's I'd rather get stuff done on a very friendly, pleasurable atmosphere.
That's right.
Than just everybody holding a knife in their mouth and watching their backs,
A knife in their mouth. I like that. I love that picture.
In the jungle, you gotta watch it because
they throw a knife at you.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I've been in sessions where earlier, in life when we're cutting vocals, I'm just in the capacity of I kind of like did something for the session, but not much. And the singer is singing, and it goes like, no. So I go like, okay.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then the singer is feeling smaller and smaller, and every time, and
on edge,
it's just like, and I said, no, this is not the way.
Yeah. Wow.
But it's funny. Some producers think that they gotta be that way in order to. I mean, but I think I don't see that as much these days. But
yes, that's true.
In my early beginnings, I saw that a few times.
Really.
And it was this guy. I was waiting for my session for this session to end, and I was waiting, and this guy was recording something, and then something happened, and he was just pushing because the time was running off, and I think didn't have the money. The session was finishing. He was like, okay, let's keep moving. And the engineer tells him, yeah, but we have this and we have that. It doesn't matter. We just put a crash on it. So by the time that record was done, probably had crashes in the other places you can imagine. Not in 1 or 3 or but in 1.5 or I don't know. But
that's crazy.
That was his way of hiding mistakes, which it works. It will hide it, but I don't know if it'll be a musical solution. But
that's nuts.
So you know what? I always said that we're fortunate to be doing what we love to do.
That's right.
And I think we're fairly good at what we do.
Yes.
And that makes it even better because you're giving the people you work with what they want, and they're happy with it. And for me, there's nothing better than that. Because I said I might be thrilled with what I did, but if you don't like it, it doesn't make it for me. I need you to be happy because you're gonna sing it. You're gonna live with it.
And it's forever once you record it.
Yeah.
That's it. So it has to be
Yeah.
on point. So any memorable moments aside from the crash story that you just told us?
That was like over 40 years ago, and I just still remember it. And I tell it to some of my clients. They laugh and they go like, "Oh, well, just put a crash on it." I go like, no crashes here.
Perhaps any pinnacle moments or people that you've worked with, you say, "Oh wow, this is fantastic," where you just felt.
There's been. I mean, usually I get a good response, and that's how I feel blessed.
Right.
Every morning I wake up, it's just like I thank God for the fact that I was born with this talent, because I believe I was born with it. Because I started hearing things. I remember singing in church with my brother. I was 5, and I was singing harmony. My brother would sing the melody, and I would sing harmony.
Well, yeah, you had to be more. I mean, because how do you hear harmony?
Yeah, that's why I say. And sometimes, to tell you the truth, it's not just to talk about myself, but I go back to arrangements that I've done like 3-4 years ago, and I go like, wow, did I come up with that?
Yeah. That's cool.
I go like, I mean, there's got to be a reason,
Right.
Because I mean, you sit there and it's like a blank page, and you have to bring it to life.
You do.
And it's and it's every time it's a challenge, because people come to you for what you do, and then you go like, man, I hope I can
Knock
really pull it off,
Okay, but this is a perfect segue to how you opened up the podcast. So listen, you said it yourself. Anybody can write a string line.
Yeah.
So, but it takes a special someone to really do what you do on your level. You get the song, you're staring at the blank page.
Mm-hmm.
How do you start, Raul? What do you do?
It's...
You look at the lyrics, you talked about that.
Yeah. I mean, because, like I said, you can sit at the keyboard and look at different options. Voicings and ways of bringing in. I'll start with the cellos, or come with a string line here, first,
Yeah.
But then when you hear the lyrics and you hear the story, you see it in your head, and you go like, yeah, I know what to do here, Right. And then I start getting the picture. But usually what I do once I get that, I listen to the song, and if I have a line that comes to my head as I hear it, I just put it down.
You put it down.
I put it down, and in a very rough way.
I was going to say, what do you put it down with? Do you have a staple instrument that you like? You say, I'm always going to use this one.
I just have a generic string patch that is very, it's not heavy, it's very playable, because some string that I use to deliver, they take a lot of memory, and they're not that playable.
Of course,
they have delay, because so I just do that, and then I take like a couple passes with ideas, and then I take a coffee break or a walking break.
That's right.
And then I come back and I go like, yeah, this is good. No, this is trash. This is good. This could be, this, I think if I can try this in a different way, then I start, moving parts around.
Yes.
But, for me, and I may be silly, but it has to move me. It has to really move me. If it moves me, I know it'll move somebody else, because we're all made of flesh and bones.
That's right. No, that's not silly at all, man. That is speaking truth.
Yeah, but that's and once I start arranging, there's no budget limitations.
That's right. You just go.
Yeah, it's not like, well, these people are not paying my full rate, so I just gonna do this way.
No, you can't half-ass it.
No.
I can't either.
That's why what people come to me. I just don't want you to do much. I just want to do something simple. I said, look, if I grab it to do it, once you hit start, it's like a train. You cannot stop it.
It doesn't stop.
I have to do the best I can, because it's my work, it's my name.
That's right.
And when people hear to what I did for you,
yes,
you're not going to tell him, well, I didn't give him much money, so this is what he could do.
Right.
They're going to hear the arrangement as it is, and they will say, it's great, or, yeah. Who did your strings? It's okay. I think you could have done better than that, but,
Yeah.
So there's no cutting corners.
That's right. Wow, that's perfect. That's words of wisdom. There's no cutting corners.
Yeah, no.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, once it starts, like I said, it's like a train. You can.
Yeah, you said it. It went down on this podcast forever.
I gotta look it up and find a way to erase it. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
That's perfect. Okay, so look, this has been so insightful, Raul. I really appreciate you, man. I'm going to ask you about 10 or so questions, rapid fire questions.
Oh man,
just quick for fun.
Okay.
Come on. So now we get to know Raul, the man, the person, not just Raul, the musician, the arranger guy, but we want to know you as a person.
Okay.
All right, you good with that?
Yeah, okay.
Favorite food or favorite midnight snack?
Pasta.
Whatever. Pasta?
Yes.
Any particular kind?
Fettuccine Alfredo.
Fettuccine Alfredo. I love it.
Or pesto,
Pesto.
Yeah, love pasta. It's comfort food.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I agree. It's comfort food. Most ridiculous thing that has ever happened to you on a session or a gig? Silly, ridiculous, outlandish.
We were making an old vocal track for a guy from Japan that was singing he was in his mid-40s and was singing all his hits from his 20s.
Oh, yeah.
But he wanted to arrange it on a vocal band, but, really mellow kind of thing. And so he comes to check. We recorded the arrangements with 6 voices that did different parts and doubles. They sounded really good. So the session comes and he listens, oh, this is great. This is exactly what I wanted. So next song, and he goes like, what key is that song on? And he goes like, it's in C. And he said, I thought when we had the intervention with my partner that was, we wanted in the key of D.
Oh.
And he shows at the chart, and he have wrote a D on it at the time of the, and we're going like, okay.
Oh, no.
So we pulled in some favors from some of the singers, and we recut the song in D.
Wow.
But that was
Talking about making you squirm, right?
that was the. But we knew we could pull it off. But it was just there was nowhere around it because
Right.
the guy because we had a meeting and he was writing on the charts what he was going to do, and then he just raised the chart and showed us to us, and it was a big D on it.
Oh, no.
I wanted this on D.
Indeed.
And
Yikes.
I don't know who, because we did this with a partner. My partner was the engineer, actually the one who knew the source of the job. So,
Yeah.
so I don't know who stepped on the ball, but I mean.
So part of your homework, get the proper key first.
Oh, make sure you get everything first. We didn't have time to check it, or it was so.
Wow.
Rush, the time was an issue there, so we just did it, and then when he's listening, it was like, oh, I think it's the wrong key,
Man.
and it's nothing that you can change MIDI,
No,
we can change it,
It's
no problem.
before MIDI.
No, it's all
live.
vocals.
It's all vocals. Oh, geez, it's all vocals. Even now, you can't change that. Okay, yikes! Dream collaboration. If you can collaborate with any artist or producer or whomever.
Wow, producer David Foster, maybe.
David Foster.
Quincy Jones.
Quincy Jones. I just assumed that you worked with those guys.
Not yet.
All right, not yet, but there you go. There's
But David knows my work, and he personally has congratulated me. So
Well, see, so it's just a matter of time.
maybe, yeah.
What activities do you enjoy on long flights? How do you keep yourself busy? Are you scoring when you have to fly somewhere, or are you relaxing?
If I need to be scoring, I'll score.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that. And if I can score, but it's not like a sad thing.
Okay.
If I need to.
Okay.
But I mostly relax.
Something that you relax.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a good time to relax because you can't go anywhere else.
No,
Right?
can't do anywhere.
When you're home, how do you spend your free time? What do you like to do?
That's an interesting question.
I find that as musicians, oftentimes we don't have a hobby because music is so demanding. Right?
Yeah,
It takes
yeah.
a lot of time.
Yeah, you're right. For the last 3 years or 4 years, I've been involved in one of my projects that I'm involved is 160 songs.
Wow.
Which I have to. I'm only given a piano and a vocal, and I have to orchestrate around it. And I just passed the 3.5-year mark on it, and I still have like 30 songs to get done.
Wow.
But the thing is,
Incredible.
we do that, and then they're adding more songs to it. So.
Wow. So you don't know.
So I don't know, but I mean, so I spend quite a lot of time
awesome.
in programming and arranging, and when I have time these days, I just come home to go to sleep.
Chilling. You just go to sleep. That's it.
I might grab a Netflix or
Oh, that's perfect.
some of those to wind down.
Yeah.
But sometimes I get hooked.
Yeah.
Because
that's my next question. What are you watching on TV right now or Netflix?
Oh, I'm not. There's nothing right now. I finished everything I was watching.
What did you finish?
I finished Hannah.
Okay.
I also watched The Witcher. That was pretty cool.
Oh wow, I haven't seen that.
The actor is the guy who used to be Superman, the last Superman.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It seems like he's contracted and continue for the next movie, so they grab him for this. It's pretty good. It's pretty interesting series.
Oh, that's very cool.
It's amazing what these
they're producing
companies
such
are
amazing
doing.
stuff, isn't it?
It's just like a race for I will produce more stuff than you,
Right.
and then
That's right.
it's like you're bombarded every day with emails. Oh, this just came up, and we think you'd be interested in watching this.
That's right.
And I actually can't because I gotta get stuff done.
You got it right. you wonder like
the problem is you get hooked, man, and you wanna get just one more episode, just one more episode. Okay, it's like no.
That's awesome. All right, so what is some of the latest music you've listened to? Do you listen to music? I know that's why I asked, because it's an interesting question. Oftentimes, I find myself not listening to anything. Because I enjoy the silence.
It's something I listen to a lot of music is if it's well produced and to my judgment there's a musical taste on it. Right. I will listen to it and try to find out what makes it, and dig what's there and how they did it.
Yeah.
It could be anything from any genre. And
give me an idea.
Let me share a story with you. 10 or 12 years ago, a friend of mine brought me a belly dancer that needed music to have her own music for her shows.
Sure.
So I started with that. She wanted an opening piece, and then the idea was just one piece. But then she said, I want something slow, and then I started, and then it became an album. And I wrote a whole album for her.
Wow. And
there is a piece that became viral. There's a video that is called Yearning.
Yearning.
And you put Yearning and you put my name, and you're going to find there's literally thousands of videos of dancers from all over the world dancing to this piece.
So this piece that you wrote?
That I wrote and I produced. And and I have, there's one of them that has 13 million views.
Dude, that's incredible.
Yeah. They even, I got a few movie gigs because of this piece. For scoring movies. They say, we want this piece for the movie. I said, okay. We were wondering if you would want to write the score.
Here we go. Yearning. Which one? This one?
Yeah, anyone. They're all yearning.
Wow.
See, I don't know. It doesn't say how many views.
Okay, I literally typed in Yearning, Raul. That has 478,000.
Yeah.
Almost 500,000.
But there's
so many of them, actually.
Yeah, because these are not...
Incredible. Woo.
The violinist is a guy from Syria, which I met doing a job for another guy.
Wow.
When I heard him play the first 3 notes, I knew this guy had something special. So when I did this, I call him.
Wow,
and he really hit it home. And I've seen there's people that have created short movies, stories with this piece.
To this piece.
Yeah.
Look at that. Well, okay, so anybody can find it. You just literally type in Yearning and Raul Ferrando with
And
2
you
R's.
can find it, yeah.
And you can find it. I'm looking at one here that has 4.2 million views.
Yeah.
There's another one 544,000. There's so many.
Yeah.
So I think this speaks to the fact that if you want to get out there, for the aspiring musicians, perhaps the younger generations, if you want to get out there, put your music online, put it out there on YouTube and all of the social platforms, all of the streaming platforms, and people can discover you.
Yeah.
You just said it.
I mean, the thing with this is, it was not my plan to become the belly dance guru. But I mean,
it's not a bad thing.
I have been contacted from all over the world regarding this music.
That's amazing.
And people that want to know the story behind it, and dancers that, give me their cell phone numbers when I stop into town and stuff like that.
That's amazing.
It's just, and so the sequel is that next week I'm putting out a new album with fusion belly dance.
Next week?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's called Infatuation.
Infatuation. Wow.
Yeah, it has 10 pieces, and it's been mixed by Tony Shepard.
Oh, nice.
This time, because this one I did it on my own.
Yeah.
That's the best I could. And it's mixed by Tony Shepard, a good friend, and mastered by Peter Doyle.
Wow, very
From,
cool, man.
who used to be in Universal Mastering, and now he has an Aftermaster Labs.
And where can people find your
It's going to
material?
be on all the stores.
All the streaming platforms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Streaming and iTunes and Amazon Music. And,
Okay. And your website?
My website, it's raulferrando.com, but I haven't updated it in a long time.
Well, maybe after this album gets launched, you can put some time into that, right?
Because I have stuff that I've done for Shalea. And,
you have to put it up there.
And, so many different things that I've done. I also produce a friend of mine, an African that already unfortunately passed away. He was a legend in East Africa. His name is Mohammed Worthy. He was from Sudan. Wow. He was in prison, political prison, because of the music he wrote. And then he was exiled to London. Then he came here and we cut a few records. But then somebody else produced him. But then he asked me to produce a very special couple of songs, which were more like obituaries.
Oh, wow.
Because were the whole story of it. One song turned out to be 62 minutes.
That's
and
amazing.
The other one like 45, 46.
Songs?
Well,
or albums?
Song. It's a whole song. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. He just keeps, and he's playing this instrument, which is called the tambour, which is 5 strings.
Sure.
That they hold it like this.
Yeah.
And they're pentatonic scale.
Yeah.
And they just trim it. And the string that they release is the string that rings, because the other ones are muted. So
they're holding all 5 strings.
Yeah, and they
release.
They release to create a melody. And he used to tell me, our music is more complicated than yours because we have only 5 notes to create what we create. Because it's all pentatonic. And it's the same chord. So you listen to a 6 chord all the time. Ding, ding. And the percussion is just the same. It's just intoxicating, literally.
Incredible.
People that they come to the studio, sometimes they ask me about that. They play, and people don't want me to stop.
What would you call it? Is there a specific genre of that?
It's Nubian.
Nubian.
Yeah, because, the Nubian race, or the Nubian people, live in the south of Egypt, north of Sudan.
Okay.
And they're known as the pharaonic race.
Incredible.
And, their music is just driving, but in a very paced way, not crazy, but it's driving, and you just get in it. It's just like, don't know what to do about it. And they have this weird 7/8 rhythm, that everybody listens and claps to it, like on time.
No, keep it going. That's amazing. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think this is our next guest. Oh, Derek, I'm so sorry.
Hey, don't worry about
I'm just wrapping up. Come on in.
No worries, I didn't want to bug
Yeah,
you.
I am so sorry. Derek, this is Raul, Derek.
Hey, how are you doing?
Let me
Hey,
finish.
Derek.
I'm almost done with him.
Go do your thing.
Have a seat right here.
I'll be very quiet.
Welcome to Nomad's place.
Thank you.
This is the place. There's lots of stuff to look at. So, so you're saying it's in 7/8 and he's strumming. What's the instrument called again?
Tambur, they call it.
Tambur. Wow.
In some other countries it's called sincimea, but I think that's more like a local way of calling them. But
Very cool.
tambur is like you
Wow.
put tambur Sudan and you're gonna see it.
That's awesome.
Next time if you visit me sometime, I'll play you some of that stuff.
Yes.
It's just
I totally want to hear
and
that.
he can sing.
Yeah.
And he was well trained. He could tell me, he would sing high notes and he would tell me,
Yeah.
sol, meaning G,
Yeah,
sol sharp in his language, will tell me.
Oh, wow.
Like telling me, I can hit those notes, man. Yes. I go
Wow.
like, yeah, man. It's just
So his ear was impeccable too.
Yeah, he was really good. And the reason he started writing the story of his life is because he needed kidney transplants. He wrote that the last record he did 3 CDs, and then after that we did the Nubian songs, the 2 Nubian songs.
Right.
He was going to dialysis 3 times a week during all that time. Then he went to they tried to find a match, they couldn't. He went to Qatar, they found a match. He lived for another 7-8 years.
Wow.
Yeah, he did. He came back to Sudan. He had the welcoming that anybody can dream of,
Wow.
bigger than any president or dignitary or athlete.
That's awesome. Tell us his name again.
Mohammed Wardi, and the last word, the last name spells W-A-R-D-I.
D.I. Wardi.
Mohammed Wardi.
Well,
Yeah.
this has been an amazing interview, a wealth of knowledge, Raul.
Oh, come on.
So, man.
We all learn the same thing, I think, in different ways, through different channels, but we form our, we round our knowledge based on what we live and what we hear and what we see in other people.
That's right. Tell me this, last question. If you weren't a career musician, as I like to call it, what would you be?
Wow.
What would you do?
I never thought of that.
Right? Yeah.
I cannot find it. Because I've done a lot of stuff in my life, but I've always been miserable unless I was working in music,
That's why I asked that question, because I think a lot of us feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know?
I cannot tell you, I cannot think of anything that I would do.
Right. Wow.
If I could be born again, I probably would like to be a bass player, a killer bass player.
So there you go. You're back to being a musician.
Yeah, that's
it's just a different incarnation.
Yeah. Or maybe an incredible keyboard player.
I love it. That's awesome.
Like Herbie Hancock or one of those guys.
Raul, thank you so much for being here on The Career Musician.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me. It's just like, I feel honored.
Thank you for tuning in to The Career Musician. Please click the subscribe button and share The Career Musician podcast on your social media feeds.
Help us continue to provide you with new and engaging content by getting our ratings up. Please subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
I'm just a nomad, nowhere man, writing the songs in this one-man band. A nomad, yeah, I'm a nomad. Hush now, darling, you'll be fine. I'll be back this way sometime. Until then, baby, don't you cry. 'Cause I'll be gone.
Hey, this is Nomad, host and creator of the Career Musician Podcast, and I am thoroughly stoked to be an official member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Pantheon Podcast Network is the first of its kind as an all-music-based podcast collective. Please be sure to check us out at pantheonpodcast.com for more info.